And I think it's a good idea to just create a new row, a new script, copy everything over. Okay, so we have everything, the yellow section, the green section, which we will modify, and then the white section. Okay, so the green section here, we would want to select name, okay, as NM, account code as AC. So you can use the as pretty much anytime you like. All right, it doesn't have to be the case when, oh, it's some bracket amount. So the bracket, we cannot refer to it, so we use AS. We can always sort of, use at our convenience. Order by NM, first order by NM. Then within each NM, we order by subtype. So this is what is meant by order by first NM followed by subtype. All right. And we do a limit of 3. Then instead of using the familiar fetch all or for loop, which we cannot do, uh, yeah, actually we can. So we can do for loop, right? In the earlier case, we have a for row in fetch all, and fetch all will eventually come to a point where it has no more, right? It has no more row, but that would work cooperatively with for, and it will terminate for naturally. So this is really nice. We don't have to have a break or whatever to check if row is now none or whatever. We don't have to. So that's nice, right? But it's always good to know how we can use another structure of code to perform what we want. So here we want to experience this while forever. Right? So while true, row is, let's bring in one row. Okay. In cases when memory is tight, yeah, you're working on limited memory space, or you want some efficiency, or you want some assurance that there wouldn't be 5 million rows coming in because you're doing a all rows equal to fetch all, right? Then it's much better to do a fetch one because it guarantees that there is only one row being returned, or no row, all right, because it has encountered the end of the result set. So if we do have something, we will print out the row has this content, which should be a tuple, right? Otherwise, no, after that, we will break down. I think I need a quotation mark here. So after printing the content of the row as a tuple, we break the tuple into two, name and code as before. Then we print individual value. Name is name and code is code. Okay, so then we are done with the while loop and we can just clean off everything. So it looks like this. Nice, okay. All right, let's just run it and see. Okay, good. So we have the first row, the second row, and the third row, right? After each printing, we have name is bank dash DBS cash. So we managed to actually, reach safely and correctly the content of the data that we want. And the bank code is B bank, and cost of goods sold code is X cost of goods sold, and capital B cap B, right? Good. So that is how we can use select, right, together with order by and limit to achieve what we want. Um, let's move back to our classroom slide. Okay, next we have retrieving data as a means of searching. So although we are saying read from the database, it is also a conduit, a command to SQL to search what we in English intend to mean as a search. So search all the rows that have these properties, right? So when we say select, it doesn't give the sense of searching or finding. Whenever we in business need to search or find, get me the member who, or the members who haven't paid up, right? So you are trying to find or search these members. Yeah. So you might want to sort of do a select because you're reading back, and then you need to give qualifiers in the condition where, where something. So here, as an example, I'm going to just skip past the yellow and the white and talk about the main content here. All right. So we can select everything from account where name is name, that means the descriptive part of it, contains DBS. So if we have been describing our account codes systematically, any account where maybe we are borrowing from the bank, maybe we are mortgaging our factory to the bank, maybe we have a working account with the bank, whenever it has a relationship with DBS, we will put in DBS in the name. Then it's very easy. We will just say, what is our current relationship status with DBS? Or get me all the accounts that looks like this pattern. Anything containing DBS followed by anything, right? The percent. So we can do that. Then we can say, is there anything that relates to DBS and has a behavior that ends with TY, maybe equity, So, well, let's do that and fetch all and see, right? Uh, well, it is a all relationship. We want both. We want any any account that has a name that contains DBS, right? Or it may not involve DBS or may involve DBS, doesn't matter, but the subtype has something to do with something something TY. So it could be liability or it could be equity, right? Both of them end with TY. Okay, so let's see if that gets us the correct answer. We're going to create a new script and we will copy everything, our yellow, green, and white segments. Okay, then here. So we are going to say select everything from account where, all right, name like percent DBS percent. So we will then do a all rows equals to cursor dot fetch all, because we just want a quick and dirty way to see all the rows, and we have learned the for fetch all way or the while fetch one way to do it. Right, then we print a dash, a long line. Okay, and what we can do next is we repeat this. Okay, we execute again, select everything from the name looks like this, or the subtype looks like something something TY. So liability equity. And then we can delete the while true. So it looks something like this, which is basically a repeat of the same thing because we are issuing two SQL commands. We don't need to take the cursor from connection again. We can reuse the cursor. All right, we can reuse the cursor. So in most programs, whether it's commercial, complicated, simple, easy, classroom, we should be looking at using cursor once. Although it is not forbidden nor invalid or erroneous to have multiple cursors from the connection, but we shouldn't find the need. That's all I'm saying, right? So if you end up having cursor equals to con dot cursor a few times in your program, maybe you want to re-examine whether that's necessary or not. The other reason why you may have multiple cursor equals to con dot cursor is that possibly you had closed, all right, you have closed the connection. If you had closed the connection, because that's also a good practice, whenever you are not running seriously a lot of SQL statements, right, and you have a long sleep 20 seconds to wait for user to react or something like that, 20 seconds is eternity to CPU. So you should actually release the database by closing it. That would be a good practice. If you do that, then the next time you connect again, you should really perform the connection and then draw the new cursor, because that's a new life cycle of that cursor. Okay, so just a quick word on that. Let's run this. Okay, good. So the first select where we want only names that describe DBS is correctly returned. And because we fetch all, we have a list. Do you see this? Okay, we have a list of lists or list of tuple, one row, and we print all rows, right? So that's correct. And then we will expand the search. Give me anything that has a name of DBS or else a subtype of something something TY. So because I don't know whether it is liability or equity. I don't know. I forgot. And so I put a something TY. So we can do some sort of a fuzzy search like that, incomplete search to retrieve a wider net of possible or plausible answer set, and then we can filter from here with the help of human identification. Right? Maybe imagine if we have 500 account codes. While that's not a lot, it takes human time to comb through, and it's very annoying. So we could say, I think it's something to do with DBS. So we can say name like DBS, right? And then do this, and we only have 3-4 rows to comb through, and that's good. All right. So basically, we have demonstrated various ways, and along the way, I have also tried to use different logic like fetch all, fetch one, for loop, while loop to illustrate how we can programmatically access SQL. No matter how you use it, I think you should find that it's actually very simple because of the yellow, green, white three blocks. So always remember you must have the three blocks. If you find that you missed out one block, something is wrong, you're not doing it right. Even if it looks okay when you're testing it, perhaps because the connection was made in the previous run, you didn't reinitialize it. The next time you reboot your machine and come back fresh, it won't run. So just make sure every time you have three blocks, then things are as simple as it looks like just typing out the SQL command. All right, see you in the next video segment.